Hi, everybody. This is Allison from AllyKat Creations. How are you? Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you have yet to do so. And if you get anything from my work, a connect design, an epiphany, a mind explosion, a new book to read, a new author to explore, artwork to create. Think about supporting my work. All the links will be at the bottom at the end of this beautiful live that we're going to have. And please check out my website, AllyKatCreations211.com, where you can find skulls. I will go into this one. Full signs. I didn't put this on my website yet, but paintings. Pyramids. Pyramids. This is a protection pyramid. Pyramids. A lot of different types of pyramids. You can check me out at AllyKatCreations211.com. There you can view my portfolio, and if you're interested in anything, please email me. And if you are so inclined, still getting I got my voice back, but it's still there. Channel memberships, they're at a 3D level. It's the cheapest way to help me keep this channel afloat. And Friday, I'm going to be drawing another raffle, and the friends, oh, they're over there. Poopy. I put it in my community post, but I have 4 paintings up for grabs. Some beautiful member actually bought one of the paintings. So really excited about that. You can purchase my paintings if you inquire, but there'll be 4 up for raffle. The winner will get to choose which one they want. Cardinals, the cardinal one I did, that was sold. But I have all those up, and if you're a channel member, that was one of your perks. You get a free entry to my raffle. So think about it. Chicken. Chicken. Hi, Amy. Little Thor came for a snack, and that's probably tomorrow's video. Hi, Scott and Catherine and Ashmaya. Hi. Hi, Eric. Eric, please email me. Chicken. Hi, guys. It's all good. Thank you for coming for a little bit. So I have some crafts that I worked on. This I can't do on film, but this is a skull, a floral skull. There's no gems in here. It's flowers. And its brain is flowers. There's some rose petals and all different types of flowers in this one. So a lot of people said they use these as paperweights. You could do what you want with my creations after you buy them. But I did one of these frames for you guys, and here it is finished. This is love. See, it's like epoxied with the flowers. And this is family. I have to sand the back of this. There's epoxy that spilled. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. I might have to add another layer of epoxy in here because some of the flowers are still very much when you put floral things in your pieces, like and epoxy them, they can become like stiff and break. So I have to add another layer. Hi, Charlene. Chicken. Chicken's for you, Miss Charlene. Hi, beautiful souls. Hi, beautiful souls. So yeah, these are like the three really nice things that like I'm really happy how this came out. Um, I have to figure out what to do on these sides. So I'm probably not completely done yet with these. Um, but you see now looking at these two, I spray painted these. So they're not perfect and shh, I did them in the house. You're not supposed to spray paint in the house, but I don't have a choice when it's 5 degrees outside. Not that it was today. Um, Upstairs, mandala dots. This is what upstairs gives me, so I might start that today. Um, I don't know where to go yet. I'm still trying to figure this out here. Hi, Taylor. Yeah, I miss myself too, not feeling well, and I'm behind. I'm a little discouraged about that. Oh, Auntie Amy, I have cat pants on. So I went to work. Okay, so it's celebrating Black History Month. And I'm not about appropriating anybody's culture in a negative light. So I looked like a 70s college student with my outfit today. My pants are upstairs because I had to wear like my gothic boots. But let me see if I can lean this in. I got kitty pants. I got kitty cats on my pants. Let me see if I step back. It'll show. Step back! Stupid computer! I hate this computer. I hate this stuff. But I'm wearing cat pants. Cat pants. I thought Amy would like enjoy that. I still haven't figured out what to do with this bottle either. But I'm wearing cat pants. Let's see if I put my feet up. Cat pants. I used to be super old. Yeah, there we go. I used to be super flexible. I have to get back there. I haven't danced in a long time professionally. But yeah, I have cat pants on. Um, I had to change because the pants I was wearing was very bell bottomy. And I don't want to walk down here with my big pants or get them ruined. They're really nice. Yeah, they're my kitty slouch, like hang out around the house. But like this is like a nice 70s styled. I don't know. I had a vision in my mind because I don't culturally appropriate, if that makes sense. Like it's Black History Month. I'm not coming in with an afro or Africa earrings as much as I would like to support a culture that I think is beautiful. Uh, we're still at the point in the world where people don't accept those things, nor would I want to disrespect anybody. Um, I'm sure a lot of people could agree. Um, I don't necessarily think that celebrating, as Morgan Freeman did say, like this, I don't agree with Black History Month because it's our history and it should be celebrated all the time. And I agree with that. But for little children who I think it's a really wonderful thing and to just at least celebrate and acknowledge some of the best and highest achievers in a culture. And my school does all the cultures. It's not like it's just the Black History Month. This is where we are at. but they have done Mexican Appreciation Month. Asian might be mixed in because it's Chinese New Year. So they do touch upon other cultures in my school. I kind of like it because the school I worked in before I could got goodbye did academic achievements and not necessarily embrace seasons. I am not one for religious celebrations, but like I like the seasons. Like Valentine's Day, I have this huge, I have to take a picture of it. I did a bulletin board and we got to get some finger paint. We want to get the kids rose. We're going to make their hands look like roses. And we're going to make, I have a rose plant with a many hearts. So we're trying to do like a Valentine's Day thing. We're the only ones on in the school that are doing it. Thank you. I just threw pants on and I was gifted these by my friend Katie, who it just came in. When Odin passed away, she sent me some goodies to cheer me up, and cat pants won. So I'm excited. Very excited. Once again, we gotta love YouTube. All right. Just making sure everything is kosher. Um, you gotta love it. I know a lot of other channels have been having issues during the week. Rumble is not fun. So I don't know where I want to start. So I had a slight issue today that I got upset with my school. We have menus, and today was Taco Tuesday, okay? Taco Tuesday. And my kids did not get tacos, so therefore I didn't get tacos. I'm upset. And I don't equate the Mexican culture with tacos. But not gonna lie, hands down, if you get Tex-Mex tacos, it's not the same. Not the same. Coffee, I need it. Today was today wasn't that bad, but today was my body hurts. It's actually rain. It's raining and snowing. I'm getting a wintry mix in my area that they seeded. My favorite day of the week is Friday. Um, I'm just checking in with the Schumann residents. Okay. We're purging, but we're not in the light, which is actually a good thing. Little bits a couple of days ago. I love all kinds of tacos. I'm not gonna lie. There's just certain things I can't put on tacos or in tacos. I have to be careful what kind of peppers are in tacos if they make it, and I'm allergic to beans, believe it or not. Um, I have some wonky shit. Oh yeah, last night. So, our lovely friend Amy here, she's having a conundrum. So many of you here Amy is just, I, okay, how do I put this? Amy has been awake. I think she's been awake spiritually. She's trying to figure herself out. Hi, El Sunray. And she was asking me about Bigfoot last night. That her and her hubby was in the middle of the woods in was that in Oklahoma, Miss Amy? I'm not familiar with all the parks and stuff. But she encountered Bigfoot. It was throwing rocks at her and making noises and shaking trees. And I basically told her from my point of view that Bigfoot is a fourth dimensional being, fourth dimensional, that it is in the 3-4 paradigm. So right now we're in a 3-4 paradigm, but they've always been in fourth. They zip in and out of our reality. And when you get too close to their portal or their entryway, which is a gateway to not just them, other beings, they're going to get you scared enough to run out of that area because they don't want you, A, to find the portal. Because once you go through, I don't know if you're coming back. That's how a lot of people in the woods, it's not nefarious, but disappear is just they hit a portal and they're gone. And they're not coming back. They're in another reality. Same, it could be a parallel reality. We don't know. And also protection from what else is there lingering in those portals. Light and dark exist and coexist within these realms until fifth density. So we're going to be playing this dualistic fun shit show until sixth. Get over it. I have more paint markers. I don't know where they went. Yeah, they were saying get the f away from us. But not necessarily. I don't pick it up as in a bad way. When you watch these Bigfoot shows and stuff, a lot of the time, most of these beings just want to be left alone. But also, if you're encroaching on their territory or that portal, you know, they're gonna be like, get away, please. And a lot of oh, Harry and I remember that show. Um, I was listening to a Bashar the other day where he made the same analogy and concept that I had been speaking about, unbeknownst and not ever hearing this from Bashar before. So it's kind of cool that there's an alignment there. Bashar was saying that demons are our own creations, meaning that your thoughts become things, and things do become manifest, especially negative energy that's radiating off of you. Um, right. And Amy, I'll get into this because it hits, right? We don't know unless you can see the demons that they exist. Go watch the Dead Files. Amy Allen is a fantastic medium. She's a physical medium, so she can walk in a place and actually see things. Most of us can too, to an extent. I would have to really start tuning in. I saw something earlier today upstairs. Um, but nothing crazy and nothing scary. Uh, but demons are our own creation. The evil that is out there is our own creation. We created these things. And they're lessons and teachings for us to learn from how not to freaking create them anymore. There is a spiritual war going on, guys. It's ourselves against ourselves. I'm sorry. I'm debating what I want to do on mandala in here. I have limitations on tools right now. I'm thinking. Actually, you know what? Sorry. I'm just in my mind trying to think. Sorry. So the Bigfoot, from a couple of people's standpoints, is really where Darwin got some things right. That was perpetually what evolved from the apes. We're not, and we have not come from apes, in my estimation and proclamation of the understanding that I have from upstairs. We were seated here. We, as a humanity, the collective of waves that have come and are here, we all wrote this matrix program. We wrote this. It's hard to understand and even conceive. Why would I write evil things? Why would I write these predators? Why would we write in these things? Because in God's experience, it needs to experience all potentialities and possibilities. And in the multiverse, everything is playing itself out in different ways. Some are inverse, some are parallel, some are like we had the Mandela effect. Some of us in the that were born in the 80s remember distinctly a whole, and you guys also, most of you, remember things being a whole different way, and now they're not remembered that way. And there's proof of things that people find the Fruit of the Loom tag, Shazam, the Mandela effect, because of most of us remember him dead. So there's a lot of things that we jump in and out of time constantly. We're shifting timelines constantly. As a humanity collective, we're vibrating in a wavelength. You don't see it. I mean, do you see 5G waves? Do you see the Wi-Fi going through your house? Do you see radio waves? Do you see microwaves? You don't see these things, that yet they still exist. So just because you can't perceive with your naked eye, you actually jumping in different time delineations and timelines doesn't mean it doesn't exist. You just not perceiving it. Most people think that's batshit crazy. Well, I'm like, no. Every thought you think creates your reality. The challenging part was one of our friends that visits my channel often was like, what about the pets or these evil people? Well, they're there for us to learn from. You get angry, you're holding an emotional attachment to things that probably have not ever affected you personally. We broad frame our reality as if everything is out to get you. Everything is evil. Everything is negative. Well, that's what you're producing. That's how you're experiencing reality. If you're out there and saying, well, the white hats, the black hats, these hats, those hats, they're out to do all this stuff and harm everybody, and people are dead, and the airlines and this, that. I'm not saying it has happened or has not happened. I'm not there in my physical reality to actually be witness to it. So how do we know it really took place? We don't. There's so much deception on both sides. This is why I don't take a stance anymore on good or evil, because I'm beyond it. I see beyond it. I see a bigger, broader picture. And I know many of you are getting on that pathway. You're respecting other people's choices. I'm glad you found me, Amy, Mr. Little Thor. Um, I mean, you got to think about reality is something we all created. So I was expressing to Amy that her and her husband wrote this experience in for them because that was a catalyst for change of thinking and expanding the consciousness of questioning. Why did this happen to us? We didn't see anything, but yeah, things are throwing rocks at us. This doesn't add up in material reality. Why are things being flung at us, yet we can't see where they're coming from? We're hearing noises that are not natural in the environment. Why? You can, the alien abductee says the same thing. Like, why do I remember snapshots of being prodded and it was extremely painful and traumatic, but why would I want that for myself? You wrote it in your contract, whether you like it or not. I'm sure I've been abducted a bunch of times. I don't have those memories. It's not my time to know them yet. But I have awareness that I've been taken in my sleep as a kid. I'm not afraid of implants. I don't care if there's implants in me. I don't care. I've been scanned. There's nothing physically in me. If it's on an etherical level, it's meant to be there for a reason. We all have a reasoning in our own perception, in our own lives, why things happen the way they do. Synchronicity, coincidences. We wrote those in for us to have these aha epiphany moments to expand our consciousness. We wrote those. And no, and depending on where you are frequency wise, whatever bandwidth you're on, there's no wrong or right. Right? I have like, I kind of explain it like 3 levels just because it's easy to convey. So people on the lower frequency here are the ones that are allowing television to dictate to them how to feel, think, and see the world. People like, oh, the experts say that these things are conspiracy. Well, how do you know that if you're not freely thinking for yourself and questioning reality? You have the people up here who are questioning reality, but still are very heavily programmed in their uprising, their upbringing, their going to church, working and doing, and not necessarily changing their mold. They're sitting in the middle where they're starting to have, oh, they're having epiphanies, but they don't know what to do with those epiphanies. And the little ones that they do get to explore, it opens it up more, but the process is slow. Then you have everybody up here, that's a very small percentage of us who are in higher awareness. are perceiving reality without, I mean, there's still biases there, there's still judgment there, but it's lessened. It's less. It's not that the program is shedding and we're deprogramming in between these two levels. We're deprogramming, and the deprogramming can take a long time. I'm having a hard time like I'm crafting today. Don't I'm gonna get something done today. I am. But what I want people in a few communities to start taking away from is the understanding that your thoughts create your reality. And if you're perpetuating that these evil people have power over you, you're going to keep giving your power away. That will perpetuate them to continue doing their chicanery. Learn how energy works. Learn what you put out, you get back. Law of attraction. If I put out really, I would hope, really good energy and really good vibrations. And it hasn't really come back to me in the ways that would benefit me the most. Why? I probably wrote in that little hard path, ironclad contract, mission of the angel. That's what my upstairs team sometimes tells me. Like, I wrote this. It's not going to be easy, honey. Great. Give me some clarity. Give me some guidance. Give me somebody to intervene somewhere to aid me financially or to give me some advice. So an opportunity is presenting itself for me, but it's not going to be until next year, in that like school year. Now, I live in a very blue town. My state is red. My town is blue. And there's a lot of fear, porn, indoctrination happening because of what 47 is going to be nixing, and that is the Board of Education federally, which a lot of people are projecting, well, you're not going to have a job by next year, Allison, because special ed's probably going to get cut. This is going to get cut. That's going to get cut. I'm like, well, wait a second. I'm not projecting that. Let's see why you're not getting paid the proper pay that you deserve. Why is it that special education doesn't have the resources it needs, but yet those kids come in with a lot of money? Where is that money going? I would rather the states get audited by the federal system and see where the waste is, so that the people who are in the classrooms that are doing the very difficult work, like myself, get substantially paid the way we're supposed to. A living wage. I'm not sitting behind a desk inputting, and not saying that's not work, but I'm physically lifting kids, and I had to do a really gross poopy diaper today. Not many people are willing to do that. I don't mind. It doesn't bother me. But it takes a special person to sit with those kids. And I don't get paid enough for it. I can't provide on one income. This is where the problem comes in. And instead I try to focus everybody's mind in, okay, so this is what you're dealt with. This is the cards that are opened up in your favor right now. Why are you looking at everything as a negative thing? What happens if it could benefit us? What happens if you can actually now step, and maybe you, who are an expert in this field, you use your voice to make changes happen? Indiana sucks educationally. But if you have the tools and the power within you to say, hey, this is not working, the kids are not thriving. Whereas other states, the kids are doing really well. There then has to be an overhaul of looking at what is going wrong and fixing it, not getting rid of people's jobs. It Why I'm in it in the first place is to make those changes. Hopefully, I'm given that credence, but I still need credentials to get into the opportunity that presented itself. Um, one of the teachers that's an art teacher may be retiring. And in order to grab that position, I need a master's degree. Maybe not, but for the most part, most likely. And I'm at this point where I have to figure out if I'm going bankrupt, or I'm going to consolidate, or I'm going to figure out another means of not having high bills. I'm in credit card debt. Unfortunately, I lived off my credit cards for 2 years. I was almost homeless. The only thing I had to help me was those cards. Sad but true. And now I'm still paying them off. Charlene, and I agree with you. The one thing I do have to say is that it's how the state handles the funds. And as it is, my school has Title One, and Head Start programs. I'm not Head Start pre-K. I'm special ed confinement. Does not federally funded. It's state ran. And there's a huge discrepancy in what their rooms look like to mine. And not that I want anything in my room. My kids can't handle it. But this is why I'm back. This is why a lot of patriots, oh, homeschool your kids. I get the concept, but I wouldn't want these kids being, some of them don't belong at home. They don't go home to a nice life. You have to realize everybody's home circumstances are different. Every child's circumstances are different. And we can't just generalize a humongous population of children and say they should be homeschooled because we don't agree with certain things. I don't agree with everything that goes on in schools. They're going to be fixed. It's going to be a transition. It's going to be difficult. But I try to, instill in the neutral sense with the people that are in my school that see it differently. They think out of fear. They're not coming at it out of love and understanding that, okay, you might not like that person, 47. You don't need to. Change has to happen. It's going to happen. It needs to happen. There's no reason why I'm not on salary. There's no reason why I'm making nothing. There's a reason. The money is being funneled in other directions that are not hitting my home. Most teachers are making scraps and having to pay for things out of their pockets. This shouldn't happen. Absolutely. Hi, Kim. What's up? So I really, I'm happy I'm in, but I want this opportunity and I might have to go back to school. If I declare bankruptcy, from my understanding, I might not be able to take out a student loan. So how do I go back to school? And it's not, it's a master's degree. It's probably a 2-year degree, if that. Um, or how do I get my credentials if I have to take a loan out? And a bankruptcy is technically 3 years. And I have yet to see my credit card debt go bye-bye because of its illegalness. Everybody says all this stuff is coming, and my debt has not been alleviated in the last 7 years. I did get to pay off one card. I'm proud of myself. It was a joint account with me and my mother. I paid that one off. I have three. And one's still tied to my mom. And I can't debunk on it and say, oh, she's dead because I had to pay her funeral on it. And it saved my life. If I didn't have her credit to go off of, I would be fucked. Yeah, but we all have different circumstances that we have to walk through that we wrote. And we all have to steer into how to overcome them. For me, I have always put my foot forward and tried to figure it out. I don't know what I'm not doing to not get it to be figured out, or at least and I have it loop and cycle over and over again. I'm not looking for the rich husband. I'm not looking for that. Um, I don't, I'm not in it for money. I'm not honestly in this life for money. I don't like it. I don't have a bad relationship with it, but I don't necessarily like it for lots of reasons. Um, Mazel tov. Oh, as I'm sitting here, what is on here? Sage. I'm not done with these yet. These are cute little canvases. Board canvas. I had extra paint that I didn't want to waste, and I made those. I'm not done with them. So I don't have white. Let's see if the gold will work. I think this dried up. Yeah. This is a sad day. Pens, you suck. I need paint pens. I need paint pens. These are not working. And for all of those amazing people that just came in, this is from the last paint and sip. I took a picture. My paint and sip things are there, but I have 4 that I'm gonna raffle off, and the winner gets to choose whatever one they want out of the 4. I'm honest to myself that, hear me out. If I could go back to school and get a master's degree in metaphysics and I could be a college professor, That would be my highlight of my life right there. Will love to teach metaphysics, which is a gap in spirituality. Love, 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 love to do that. I would love to do that. Hi, Sparky. I would love to teach metaphysics because it's the things that you can't see yet still exist, like radio waves and microwaves and Wi-Fi waves and 5G. How do I get internet? It's wireless. Which, by the way, where I'm getting a storm and I already got contacted with the high bill that I just paid for the internet, stating that there might be some down service. So we'll see what happens. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Who knows? Who knows? I took metaphysics in college. And I only got a C. I did not like my teacher, and he was a big Rene Descartes fan. Let's see if I have my book. Hat pants. No, this is not it. I don't know where I put my book. Poopy. Poopy. It's somewhere amongst the hundreds of books that I have. Um, terrible, terrible book. Terrible. I mean, it went over like more philosophical stuff. Don't mind my chunk. Um, chunky. I'm a freaking mess today, by the way. Hi. I have to go get water and a paintbrush. Because why would I come prepared? Why would I come prepared? Ever. Cat pants. Na 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 cat pants. Cat pants. Cat pants. Neener, 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 cat pants. Cat pants. Cat pants. Before I do anything else, it's an angled bunch. I don't need an angle. I need a flat. Honestly, I have been trying to get some tunes in with Little Thor only because I I don't know, something within me thinks that if I sing, he might enjoy it. And I have cats everywhere. Everywhere. I think for me, the most frustrating thing with what's going on is trying to explain it to people. Like, I'm not worried about anything anymore. You know, help, I hope, does come on the way. I know there are beautiful people out there helping me as much as they possibly can, and it's so appreciated. It really, really is so appreciated. Um, Bashar always says, like, do your passion. You have to live at your highest joy. And a lot of spiritual people have said, like, don't, if you're meant to do something, you're going to do it regardless. You're adding to the frequency and vibration of the planet, and all the things that you put out into the ether, even if it's not acknowledged, is still helping and contributing toward humanity. Um, so I want everybody to make that something that uh the Arcturians say this. Like, if you are writing a book, even if you never get it published or it's been rejected, the fact that you took the time to actually write a book or make a painting or make a sheet of music, that's important. It does put the thoughts out into humanity to expand consciousness, whether you are aware of it or not. We give definitions to what is successful and what is meaningful and worth things. We give the value numbers to things. Eventually, that's going to start changing because our values are going to be changing. The concepts of things are going to be changing. We're not going to think so linear in separation and limitation anymore. We're going to see that our limits are endless. And I'm now channeling, FYI. Upstairs wants to make a point that, yes, it was, Scott, absolutely was. We all want things done now. And we have to come into a resonance of understanding that when you're hearing these aliens or these channelers or whatever have you channel, and they're telling you that basically your thoughts become things. So be very careful what your thoughts are, because you manifest it instantaneously in fifth and sixth density. So we have these, the machines, what are they called? The replicators, right? Like, that's like a test for us. If we can replicate this and we can make that, and eventually we'll be able to manifest whatever we want. Okay, to an extent. What does your soul need? Not your personality, not this lower vibratory state. What does your soul want? If we were to manifest every thought in our head, the world would be overly filled with everybody's shit. Shit. And amongst the shit, I will quote Carol Marie Friesen here, there's some diamonds. We're being prepared to let go and detach a lot of the unneedful things that are happening in limitation and separation. If you can put into a perspective that your thoughts create your reality unconsciously, you don't even know that you're doing it. When you come into higher awareness and we are up leveling, and things do start coming into tangible reality, meeting us more on the halfway point and not like waiting five years for the man of your dreams, it comes instantaneous. Do you really know what you actually need and want? What does your soul want? Because if you go through the collection of thoughts that go through your head, I would not want half of them to manifest out in my real world. Just saying. Now take every indoctrinated person, every program person, and if their thoughts were to run wild, manifesting instantaneously, what really would the world look like? Think about that. Take a moment. I'm giving you perspective. There would be a lot of crap out amongst the world. And that's just not going for you. That's going for everybody. So for someone in a lower vibratory state who has not done the work on themselves, wants to manifest that Ferrari, they'll in the mansion and who knows what other materialistic nonsense. Is that what their soul needs? This is why non-duality is important. I'm not asking anybody to go through the pathway that I'm walking down. It is not an easy path. This is not an easy street to walk down. Most people won't. But put it in perspective on a bigger frame scale. That when you choose to see the higher potentialities in this world, you're going to need less. You're not going to want all the materialistic things. Yeah, I love books. I hoard them. I have a ton of books behind me. I love art supplies, but I'm using everything at my disposal. Food. We need food until we don't need food. I'm not at Yoganandi's enlightened nirvanic period where I only feed off light. We're not there yet. We're not going to be for a very, very, very long time. So when people are saying you're going to instantly have a replicator and make what you want. Well, there's 3D printers out there right now. What is it that you actually need? What does humanity need? Not these, I want a Coach bag, or I want a Hermes bag, or I want Louis Vuitton shoes. Those are great things. I don't care. Right? That's what some people want. And why not treat yourself to some luxuries in life? But think about everybody manifesting at the same time. Your thoughts that become things. Outside of duality, that it doesn't work. This is why we're shedding the old self. We're shedding and detaching old self. We're deprogramming our limited and separate minds to join into a social memory complex that takes eons to develop. But Ra did it. I did a lot of one reading. We're in a bridge point. We're in between 3 and 4. We're bridged. Many of us are the anchors for that bridge. While many people are already jumped to 4, there's people still at 3. And we're the people that are anchoring that transition for them to happen. I feel like a composer. A vibration. Yes. Miss Sparky, let me tell you what, that's the beginning, and it's a beautiful, it's it's fucked up and hard. I started that process in high school. I was not aware of any of this teaching or learnings or things that I read. I did not. But this is something I learned in high school. I had a couple of friends come to me and say, Allison, you are super conceited. You have some, I think you don't think highly of yourself, so you project it. You say some horrible things. I don't even think you're aware of it because you're a nice person. Here, do that. So I did. And my friends would stop me in my tracks. These are real deal friends that loved me, and I knew this, and they were helping me. They said, Allison, do you even know what you just said? And I would try to track back, and I can't remember. Obviously, I was not channeling the nicer things. And my friend's like, well, this is how you said it. I'm going to say it to you. How do you feel? Oh, fuck. And then I would apologize and say, well, I was not aware I was projecting myself that way. So that was my starting point of actually stopping myself in my tracks, in my thoughts, to say, okay, where is this coming from? What is it trying to teach me? Not that it's wrong. What is it showing me? Is it a belief that I have that is of negative thinking? Is it a program that I've been instilled in because an event happened that I just equate this to this, that I feel this way? So I analyze a lot of the things that I say, and in time I had stopped myself from, oops, doing the foot in the mouth syndrome, to, okay, how can I refine that feeling? I might feel it inside, but I don't want to project to hurt somebody. I want to be objective. I want to give constructive criticism to somebody, but how do I do it without murdering their soul? It's taken me, and I'm still not there yet in any way to be a master of that, but it's a good starting place to train yourself. That's the steps to mastery of going, oh. Well, at 22 years old, kids are going to be kids, even though they're adults. Um, Biking, big kid. And my teaching, my challenge with the relationship that I was in, um, was learning how to not be the old person that I was in my responses. So instead of going off like a crazy person about certain things, I would just calmly redirect my mind and saying, okay, there'll be a time this conversation comes up, but not right now. And then when that conversation presents itself, you're like, okay, so here's some things that I think you need to work on. And not because I'm trying to be an asshole, just because I'm here to help you instead of blowing up in the moment. Also, in going through a lot of what's been going on in the world, um, a lot of the people that I'm surrounded with are on the other side. And the challenge for them is to see that I was affected heavily in a negative way from that side. And it's not that I take sides, it's just here, you think this is all well and good until everything in your life gets crumbled apart and you see a different perspective. I wasn't ever planning to move out of New York. I wasn't ever planning to change route. I was trying to better my life. And then that catalyst came in and really changed my perspective about how things are being handled and how I was being handled and treated, how people thought I was out to kill them. Didn't feel good. The moment of where you know that you're making advancements is those very, very, very top tests that source gives you. You gave yourself. When you're put up to the stress, like what I'm going through now is a humongous test. Viking was a humongous test. He not only reflected both my parents, the girls reflected me, both sides. And I had to navigate not repeating my old cycles of ways of thinking, of ways of dealing, of ways of coping and handling old self to new self. Woo! Let me tell you what. Woo! Serious face. I hope he's reading the chat right now. Yes, he is. Another one because my 13 years ago or whatever, however long ago, it was a long time ago, I was with somebody that was the emphasis of narcissist, and I was the empath. That was my first like, fuck you, asshole. You're gonna have this real deal shit show occur in your life. You're going to have the ultimate narcissist who has body dysphoric disorder, who is a gym rat, who is good looking. He's nice to look at. But my effing goodness, was it bad? Beyond bad. And as he's now, he's only a few years older than me. He's apologized and he's like taken account of his behavior. He's done a lot of shadow work on himself. He is also very intuitive and occulty like me. And he apologized. It took him a very long time to grow. He's probably still a narcissist. It's a trait. It's a theme he's exploring. Here we go. It's a theme that people choose to explore in a life. And the catalyst is me. For them, I'm the catalyst to show them that there's way more than thinking about yourself. And that if you actually put the time into somebody else, your life is going to expand and grow into a beautiful flower pot. But if you're only thinking of self and self-preservation and not expanding to your other selves and recognizing your other selves, you're not getting far in life. You're going to continuously hit rock bottom after rock bottom after rock bottom. Um, with Viking, there's a lot of trauma, unhealed, extremely unhealed trauma that he needs to do. He needs a lot of healing. I've tried pointing him in the right direction a few times. Not working. I don't know where I'm probably single. Haven't seen him in a while. He's depressed. He's going through his shit, and I'm glad he needs to. He needs to see what light he has. It is. But he was a major test for me. The universe sent him. Yeah. Deal with that. Have fun, honey. So you got to look at, for everybody having relationship issues, whether it be children, whether it be marriage, whether it be a boss, whatever, look at those relationships and see what it's reflecting back. See what the test is, right? They're in there for a reason. Oh, have fun, Scott. Well, no, not have fun, but get there safe, please. Um, I'm gonna put some good energy out for your neighbor. Um, all these relationships that we hone in on are teaching us. And a lot of them are mirrors back to us of things that we need to work on. So what I learned with Viking is to stop giving, not that I gave my power away, but stop doing so much and pouring my heart out so much into somebody who is not equating that back. And everybody's going to have an imbalance in a relationship, no matter what it is. There's always give and take, and there's always like 60-80, 40-60, right? You're not ever going to be, if you're really in the 50-50 split, that means you really know each other well enough to know how you operate. But most people that just start a relationship don't know the ins and outs of a person, and it takes a long time. Yeah, absolutely. Kids are frustrating. I don't have any of my own, but let me tell you what, I watch them. They're frustrating. We love them to death. I love my kids in my classroom. I love them. I really do. But my goodness, sometimes, right? And those collective thoughts over time for some people, those become negative thought forms that start haunting houses and becoming PK manifestations. And that's why this is why a lot of the reasons why I even put the ghost stuff on. It's just there's so much trauma out there that we all need to heal, but it starts within. It all starts within. We all have a reason of being here. We all have a reason to impart other things on lives, right? Like I tried to help impart a loving relationship to a guy that didn't want to give it back. But at the same time, I was showing his children how a man should support and be there for his woman. The girls are aware that their father was not necessarily there for me the way that should be, you know, expected. And the girls, I hope now see a clear definition of what entails a relationship and what they should not want out of a man. We're the models for the children. This is why a lot of us came down here. We're setting the example for what we do not prefer to go out the window. Bye. And create this new world where enough of us have similar thinkings of how we want things to look, and we start creating it and moving that way. I've been fine single half my life. It's gonna take somebody. I'm not looking for much, but it would be nice that I don't have to financially worry all the time. That I could still make my own living, but also not have to worry about, oh, how are the bills getting paid each month. It'd be nice to be able to not be a third wheel going out with friends, especially at my age. It's weird. And I've never been married and I don't have divorcing and, you know, I don't have that kind of support group. Okay, I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay. So I might do mandala in here. I told myself we're crafting today. I have a show March 22nd at the middle school here. Intermediate, no, it's middle school, junior high. They're doing a vending event and I applied for it. And I also put my entry into hopefully doing the library show again at the end of May. So I am starting to once again put myself out there. That doesn't mean people are buying my artwork or my creations, but at least I'm putting myself out there. If you build it, they will come. Yep. I usually have situationships more than I have actual anything significant. Um, I don't deny my Aries fiery needs, but it has to be with somebody with that I know that is a part of my contract. Biking is definitely a part of my contract. But I also get a lot of people who look at me and they fantasize about me because of my gothicness, and they can't handle me in real life. Not that I'm a hard person to handle, it's just I'm different. I'm different, and I can't stray from my own self. And if someone can't accept me for my quirkiness and for my uniqueness, I salute to you. Don't need you. Yeah, it's and most marriages are going to be that way. I know a lot of friends, seriously. Most of my friends had what I call false love. It was lust. A lot of the girls, well, women that I know that I grew up with that got married, very few are still married today with the same partner. Many of them, if it wasn't through somebody, like a tragic passing or stuff, that I had sadly a bunch of friends, um, husbands pass on early in life, that they don't count. But for a lot of percentage of those women, they were just at a butt. There was no depth, or there was a need for money and material objects that didn't last, and then they got divorced due to that. Right? Some people don't marry for the right reasons, which is sad. Okay, so today, like you weren't here in the weepy. I dressed up today because it's Black History Month and my school is highly populated. That's like the majority of the kids in my school. And I don't have my college, like School of Visual Arts doesn't have many like things to rock, as like all these colleges around here. So I chose to look like a college student from Spanish Harlem today. I rock like a 70s, hi legit, a 70s vibey like bell-bottomy bottom pants. And then I wore this, I had a little high. And I told some of the girlfriends that I hang out with in school, I'm like, I'm not trying to like appropriate your culture because it's not mine, but I want to just let you know, like my outfit's reflecting like Spanish Harlem 1970s college. And they're like, oh my God, it does. Right? But they're like, no, you're not offending us. So it was it was lighthearted, but but look, a lot of people that I work with don't look at me to see my age. They think I'm a lot younger than I am. I don't act my age. I'm probably the oldest soul in my school, ancient. But a lot of people don't see, they think this is dyed. A lot of the people in my school don't look at me to say like, "Oh wow, like you're mid-aged." A lot of the kids are they're kids. They're in their 20s, early 30s, just out of college. I'm already like, "Hi, I'm out of college 20 years." 20 years I'm out of college. I didn't know you were that age. So I don't carry my age with me, but some of these teachers, and this happened in my other school too, they're younger than me and they look 5, 10, 20 years older than I do. I don't know what it is. That's amazing, Ashmaya. I'm just reading the chat. Hi, Corinne. What's up? Sorry, hi, Gregory. Do I have a lag chat? No, no. Okay. After the non-vocals on Friday, and then my when I did get some of my voice back, like, is going on here? So I kind of pinpointed where what's going on. Because this is not a first, it's the first time this maybe past year that I do get a lot of sinus infections, and I know for here, I'm in a new environment. It's going to take time for my immune system to build up to new tree pollen, new different molds, all kinds of conundrums of environmental stuff that my body can't tolerate. And knowing that I wasn't contagious and it was my vocal cords being really inflamed, It happens to me about once a year around this time. I do sleep with a dehumidifier, but I need to work with one. I can't bring a dehumidifier to work. Why? Because I have kids that will knock it down and break it. But my school has carpeting, which is a gross thing to have in a school. That's one. Dust collector, two. But also, my school just had a lot of construction done, and there's a lot of dust particles and things that are in the air that are going through the ventilation system. Even if it's filtered, it's still getting through. And it's forced air. Yikes. I'm getting comfy cozy here. I'm taking my socks off. Because I had to wear gothic boots today with my pants, and my feet hurt after a long day of standing. Yeah, I honestly, the really interesting thing is, beyond the allergies, my aunt that I don't speak to anymore, but she lived in Arizona. She lived in New York and then she moved to Arizona. And I've been there a bunch of times to stay with her for a week or two. And when I got diagnosed with arthritis, everybody was like, yeah, your allergies and your arthritis will feel so much better. There's no humidity there. Nope. It takes a long time for your body to catch on the algorithm of the environment. It's not a one and done thing. It is dry air, and I'm working in it all day. It's pumping through my room all day. So, and then I'm going outside and inside to get the kids on the bus, off the bus, on the bus, off the bus. Like, it's a lot. So this is like why I'm perpetually having a sinus issue. Um, I mean, in the summer, I'm fine. I was thinking about moving to Tennessee. Um, but I didn't know what part, and a lot of the houses there that I was looking at, and this is now back when everything was like selling for ridiculous. Were a lot of things I wanted were not in my budget, and I don't like my house is not that big. It has space, and the backyard is really what I wanted. Um, but for myself, I had to go where the market was not going to kill me financially. And I mean, like I said earlier, I was able to pay off one credit card and get some things done in this house. I got the gutters, the trees trimmed, some of the plumbing, not all. I had to get all new furniture because nothing fit from my old house to this house. So I spent like a whole good time of the year, like getting the things that I need cheaply and then having to build it. And I did a lot of my own fixings around the house. Like I desperately need new windows, desperately need new windows. I need a lot more plumbing work to do. I just it costs money I don't have. I need new teeth desperately. I'm hoping that the regrow thing actually starts like becoming popular enough that I could get it done for nothing. Yeah. And wear dentures in the meantime. I don't know how that works, but I'm seeing a lot more advertising for that. I'm fine regrowing my teeth. That means I get to eat more damn ice cream. See, that's the thing. I don't work at a desk. I'm at the kids' table constantly. I have a kid in my lap all morning from 8:40 to 10. I have a kid always on me. And then I have to change diapers. But even then, like the kid is always near me, on me, or around me. So having anything near me is not an option because he'll just bite it. Um, being the weather weenie that I am, I'm a weather weenie. I like weather, but I don't like Tennessee's weather. It's not Dixie Alley, but there's a lot of storms and things that tend to not me wanting to go there. And the reason why I chose Northwest Indiana, beyond the fact that I knew JQ was here in this area, was that it was the way Lake Michigan is shaped. So I'm still near a body of water, but I'm not on an ocean. Living in New York and on an island, holy crap, hurricanes. I don't have the hurricane risk. I'm also here where the lake is up here and the flow goes this way. So Northwest Indiana, past a certain point, gets all the snow where I'm pretty much down and protected. Tornadoes happen, but they're not the intense type that happens out in the middle of Iowa. I don't know how some people live out there or in Tornado Alley. Like, I don't know how Amy lives in Oklahoma where she is with all those storms. Can't do it. I don't know how a lot of people live where they live. I'm not, like I would never move to Moore, Oklahoma or Norman, Oklahoma or El Dorado. No. Mayfield, Kentucky. No. Uh, no. Just no. Even down south. Nope. Nope. I like my Four Seasons, thank you. Um, I do, I like it. I just need a better car to drive in the snow and ice. We're getting ice overnight. Um, my car sucks. So I would prefer a SUV that's heavier. I don't need a big one. I just need a compact one, but like I'm doing these vending events. I can only take so much in my tiny little Mazda 3. You know, that's the crux of it. I'm still thinking about I'm gonna do a dot patterning. I'm just thinking about colors. So don't think I'm not thinking about my crafting. I am. Where are you legit? Now, I've never experienced well, New York has experienced earthquakes, but not to the extent of California or Nevada or like the West Coast. I felt little rumblings, but um my aunts experienced them. My cousins used to live in California, so they experienced them, you know. Girlfriend, did you get, were you there for that tornado? That F5 that wiped out half the fucking Mayfield? Have you seen that? So after work today, a very nice person um donated a gift card for Panda Express for me. It's junk food, but I went and did some sort of food shopping, but a lot of things are like I only go food shopping when I find things on sale so I can get more of it. So I'm waiting for this week's flyers because Valentine's Day usually has some good sales and President's Week. So I'm kind of like holding off on some of the people that donated to me for food. Um, I did get some stuff to hold me over, but someone gave me a gift card to Panda Express. There's no good Chinese food out here. Not gonna lie, I had this conversation with my teacher today. Like, okay, two things I really heavily miss from New York is Chinese food and Italian food. And there are some places around here that have good like Italian food, but the prices are a little too much. Um, okay, I'm Irish, but I grew up on Italian food. And the Chinese food in New York, I don't know what magic they put into it. It's magic. Magic. Doesn't taste the same out here. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. So I went to Panda Express after work. Okay, I saw the glitch on my screen. Did anybody see that? I don't see it on Zoom, but I saw my screen go green. Anybody? Um, so I went to Panda Express to use the gift card today. I like their shrimp and some orange chicken. And I got enough that I can have some leftovers for the next few days. Um, and that's just I don't like I said, I even my coffee. I put good intentions into everything that I put in my body. I try to take my all the negativity out of everything because I only want good things going into me. And sometimes you can't. Well, Corinne, I just like if I got did I get it in a text message? Yes, 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 yes. Wait. Okay, I'm trying to change my internet provider because my bill went from $80 to $144. I had this for since I moved here 2 years, and all of a sudden they just upped the price by exponential. I can't afford that. So I have to change it, but because I just paid the bill for this month, I don't like I'm gonna get my money's worth out of the service. So it says, "Hi, it's Xfinity Assistant. We're preparing for winter storms expected in your area this week. Storms may be causing power outages or network damage, which could impact your Xfinity service." See how that's written? So if we have a blackout, I got plenty of books and plenty of batteries to put into my little book lamp. I got candles. I got a generator. I hope that's working. Buckshot! I have a generator just like Buckshot had. I hope that thing works. I'll be very upset if it doesn't. I haven't had to go into using it yet. Buckshot. It's okay. Guess what? I don't know if did Jack. I wonder if Jack took my moderator signal away. Um, I was his first moderator. I think he only did that because I helped him get live. It's okay, Buckshot. Like I said a few weeks ago, um, I was where Buckshot is. I was juggling everybody's channel and like I had 5 tabs open to different people's channels and going like muting some and then listening for a little bit and then going back to a show, and I was doing a lot of that. Can't do that anymore. And I love Jack. Jack is amazing. And Conan too. I miss those two. I catch their clips on X when I'm on X. Um, I only have X on my desktop, so I don't have it on my phone, so I'm not on it all the time. Um, I was gonna look for something and I don't remember what I was looking for as I'm trying to figure out what I want color-wise in there. And I'm multitasking in my brain, so don't worry. I'm crafting. Crafting is happening. So yeah, maybe there might be a blackout and it's not just for Indiana or the parts getting hit with rain and ice and snow. It snowed actually on my way to Panda Express. It started coming, not like it little flurries. And then when I got home and finished eating, little Thor came for a snack and it was like coming down a little bit. So before I get off of here, or when I get off of here and let everything because I have to put a new title in and put the picture in, I will put his warm water dish and put the heater on in there for him. El Sunray had the same problem. I don't like, even when I was putting up WeNotMe, I put it up 3 hours beforehand so that people would get notified. And at that point, I wasn't even getting the notifications until 3 a.m. 3 a.m. Um, yeah, they do. They make a lot of excuses. I mean, that text message just states right there, like, what are you trying to do? And guess what? I'm looking into T-Mobile because it's a lot cheaper. And I already have them as a carrier, so I might get a plan with them for that. I don't know if I read that one. Ashmai, yeah. I mean, little Thor used to let me pet the top of his head. And used to actually eat out of my hand before Freya and Odin. Now that Odin passed, Freya's been more at the window trying to chirp at birds. It's a fucking cute, not gonna lie. It's adorable. And she's such a powerhouse in her voice. Um, he's just because I have new cats. He's still getting used to the fact that she's usually sitting right behind me. And he's just like looking at her like, hey, I got plans for you, girly, when she's fixed. But no, but that's awesome. That's awesome. So Ash Maya actually has like Little Thor's familiar in her backyard in Ireland. Freaking cute. She showed me some pictures. Adorbs. Looks just like Little Thor. So we both have black cats protecting the outside of our properties. That's special. Love it. I said I wasn't painting today, but I'm painting. You'll see tomorrow if he doesn't come in the morning. So like he's been I've been catching him at just about right as I'm leaving to go to work. Thankfully, I only work 2 minutes by car. Oh, well, 3 minutes by car away, depending if I catch the light or not. Um, and I got this morning's video up while I was at work because I was actually on my way out and I caught him. And I tried petting him in this one, but you'll have to wait for tomorrow. Unless he shows up. Because I take extra videos just in case he doesn't show up. So at least I have something. And it's just, I want to share him with everybody. He's cute. He's cuddly. He's a deviant. He's something to be had for. No, I love my little guy. He makes me happy. And that's why I post the videos that I do. Okay, I need a specific type of paintbrush. What do I have? Fan brushes. I don't need fan brushes. This is not maybe. This is a maybe. I don't know if anybody's ever seen the this might work. We'll try it. So very long and thin brushes. What is on here? Very long and thin brushes is more for like long line details. But I want to put dots in here. Seriously, Ashmaya, it it makes me happy that you have a black cat like I do. And I laughed when Little Thor first showed up at my door because I thought he was somebody's lost pet. And I asked my neighbor, and they're like, no, we think the cat actually used to live in your house and they got rid of it. Why would you do that? But I'm happy I have him. He's protecting my house. So I'm trying to get dots, but they're not coming looking like dots. So I have the wrong brush. But once again, Who cares? Yeah, little Thor, one spring morning, I don't recall what month. I saw him in my backyard by my pool that I don't have, that's not really officially a pool. And then he came closer to my garden, but I left, he left. He jumped my back fence, and I left some cat food in the back by my pool in hopes that it would attract him back. And a few days later, not knowing, I went back, the food was still there, and I'm like, oh, okay, maybe someone's cat. He happened to come to the front of my house. He was hiding in my bushes. I went to go put the garbage out. I'm like, oh my goodness, Kitty, Kitty, come here. And he stayed, and I went and got food, and he ate. I tried getting him in, I tried trapping him, and it didn't work. The next day, I put the food on my back deck so that, because here you can't really feed outdoor animals. You get fines and stuff. Uh, so I'm like, I don't want that to happen. And I put everything in my back. And he came to the back, and I haven't had, there was a couple of times he hasn't shown up for a few days, and I get really worried. But for the most part, he's healthy, and I've tried trapping him. He's been in my house for a couple of hours over the winter last year. He left Morgan alone because he knew Morgan was passing and she didn't bother him. When Ethan was in the house was the problem. But Ethan passed away and it was just Morgan. I let little Thor in. And little Thor was spray everywhere in my house. That's why I need him fixed before he can come in again. But he doesn't want to be caught. He just doesn't want to be caught. I don't either, Amy. That it bothers me because in reality, outdoor pets are a little different. But when you go and you choose an animal and an animal chooses you, and then you give them up, that's a lot of self-inflection you need to do for yourself. That's all I have to say. So I have an X. Don't worry, it's gonna grow. If I had paint pens, this would be very fine detailed painting. But my paint pens, seemed to be all dry. Like good paint pens, not the, cheapos off of Tamu. I'm sure those work just as fine, but they don't last long. I'm just putting spots down. Yeah, people like that are horrible. Just saying. there, you know, then the divine neutrals part of me would say, well, there's a reason for everything happening. So there's a reason why someone would abandon their animal, because maybe they're meant to find someone else. That's that's how hard my path is. Unfortunately, looking at a bigger degree of understanding and the higher expansive consciousness, of course, people that abandon animals are not the best people to be around. We don't like them. We don't prefer them. There's my maturing my language. I don't prefer people like that do those things. But it happens for a reason. Little Thor was meant to be in my life. And if someone did not leave Little Thor here or kicked him out or whatever have you, he would not be in my life. So everything has a concurrent reasoning for happening. We might not like the circumstances of how things come about, but all serves a purpose. And it's, unfortunately, we have to look at it as also with children. I was adopted. I don't think my mom wanted to put me up for adoption, but I had a soul mission to carry out with other people. It worked out to my benefit. All things happen for a reason. If someone's supposed to be given up for adoption or given away to somebody that will take better care of them, I'm all for it. There are very horrible, cruel people in this world. That's just facts. That don't have the best interests of heart of children. That's the expanded thinking that we have to start looking into. And I'm not saying like, please like follow my lead. Because it's not an easy path to like have to sit there and go, okay, so that has a purpose. What is it? It's very analyzing at first. Like everything serves a purpose. Now, what is that purpose? Right? Ash like your cat might like Thor might have been an outside cat his whole life. Who knows? But we don't know in every circumstance of how things are played out. We're only assuming. And to create this new reality, we have to stop assuming that everything it will turn out to be negative because we're trying to create positive. Yeah, absolutely. That's where that's the hard part, Sparky. That when I first heard of non-duality, which is this just about the same thing as divine neutrality. Non-duality is really like an Indian Vedic kind of concept, but divine neutrality is seeing all of everything as God, source, the all that is acknowledging that it all is stemming from source. So when you see the ugly aspects of that playing out, of course, I don't prefer it. I don't want it in the paradigm. That's just showing us what not to manifest. We're in of course we're in what we wrote. We all wrote this, so we have to take accountability. We wrote all of the negative, horrible things that happen in our world, and it's for experience. When we detach emotions to that, what we wrote, own it. Yeah, I wrote that shit's gonna happen like bad, right? We're owning it. Okay, so now how do we fix it? Absolutely, Ashmaya. There is no accidents, coincidences. There is zero. Synchronicity, zero. It all's supposed to happen the way it's supposed to unfold. We wrote this. It's just a matter of what timeline we're jumping in to have that experience and who with. That's all. That's all. That's all we're doing. When we realize the bigger picture, okay, now I see the bigger picture in a non-dualistic way. I see everything as source, the one infinite intelligence, God, whatever you want to label the name as. I see everything as source. So how does that work? Because, hey, Allison, there's ugly things going on in the world. That's God. Sure damn is. Why? To show us what we don't want in the new reality. Earlier, I was making a point of saying that too many people in the paradigm, and it's not a judgment because eventually people are going to start really honing in and getting the concepts. The work takes time. Like I said, I started out in high school, like really stopping to think my thoughts out before my mouth. As I started to channel higher entity beings and then understanding what was happening with me, I started another process of filtering out, like, okay, wait, hold on. If all things are source, I really can't hate that other self, can I? It's source. How do you navigate that? It's not easy. Now I know what I was going to pull up. People who skip their shadow work go straight into love and light are some of the most emotionally abusive and unsafe people I've ever come across. Parading as light while having no experience in navigating the darkness is a confabulation. That is so true. When you haven't done the work on your shadow, the darker aspects of you, you have to accept you're both. We're in duality. The devil and the angel do sit on your shoulder. It's just your light and dark self. And you want to give into the darkness sometimes because the darkness is very helpful for you to get empowered to see your light, to see how strong you are. If you didn't have the lower aspect of you to like have contrast, how would you be a human being to grow? You'd be stalemate, neutral, boring. Ralph from The Simpsons. I like boogers, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. If that's what you want to play out and experience, great. But eventually that soul is going to have to get enlightened somehow. There's a really good quote, and I'm trying to find it. Where did I see this quote from? I mean, this is a good one. I'm going to put this on TikTok at some point. I can't afford any more situations in my life that bring out the worst in me. It's exhausting and requires too much for me to recover from. I need calmness and gentleness in my life. Anything outside of that, I don't have the capacity for it. And that's where I'm at. Like, I can't afford to worry about every move the white hat makes. I can't afford every capacity within my being to worry about what the black hat does. And at the same time, it's the same coin, just flipped. It's a narrative, it's a program I'm not a part of anymore. I unplugged out of that story, narrative, carrot dangling on a stick. And it's not to say it's not useful, it's not helpful. It absolutely is for certain people. For me, it was very useful until I went within and did more work on myself and cleared some of my shadow out and healed some of my trauma and saw the bigger picture. It takes time. You know, that's a beautiful point about where we're going and where we're headed. We, as a collective, are still hanging on to stories that need to play out, but we need to drop. The Curtises, the last two chapters in The Voice of Isis are fantastic. I do TikToks. Guess what? I either it's going to be Thursday. It probably will be Thursday because I want to redo a beginning video. Um, there's a lot of the Curtis stuffs in my TikToks, a lot shorter. I'm going to make a TikTok clips video, and then I'll pull most likely Thursday. Um, I'll have it out. The ego gets in the way of the higher self until you have ego death. And like I said, you still need your ego to function in 3D. So all of us still have an ego. It needs to be here. It's a vital function of us surviving. What happening for most of us when we're upgrading and we are rising in our light, I'm going to paint, I promise. The Schumann resonance is Earth's frequency. Okay. It's Earth, Gaia, Tara. It's Earth. It's being registered on Earth. The light in consciousness, as your ego is uplifting and rising out of you to heal and to let go, your higher self is going to grab the positive components of your ego to merge into your new self. This is a lot of what's happening to many of us. We're shedding the old self, the old ideas, the old ways of functioning, thinking, feeling, ascribing to personal narratives, outside narratives, seeing reality for what it really is. This is going to take a while. I'm not done with it yet. We still need our ego here to function. Most of us are already bridged in 4. We're in 4. But we're still a bridge for those on 3rd that come back into 4th. Some people are going back and forth like going to work. They're home. They're high vibing, putting the candles on, sitting in the tub with frequency. Everything is hunky-dory and amazing. And then they got to go back to work. So we still have a bridge that we travel back and forth on, or you can equate it to a wavelength that you're up the slope and down the slope and up the slope and down the slope. As we are changing the thinking process and saying, okay, if all things are source and we're all one, that's not excluding the negative polarity. That's incorporating all of source within us. That's also the darkness, which needs to be there for learning and lessons. As we are getting those lessons learned and going through those experiences and gaining the wisdom, a lot of these old things are shedding away from us. They no longer need to be here. They're releasing. The things that we're renting space up in our heads no longer matter because we already know it. Once we know it, we don't need it. Listen to Linda Good McGillis. She talks about that a lot. Because there's always something higher to obtain. Truth is at a frequency. So wherever your body is frequenting at, because subatomic particles are always vibrating, your frequency, you have a field. You don't see it, but yet it exists. Auras exist. All this stuff exists. You just can't perceive it with your two eyes unless you have the ability to do so. So you're moving around, your body's subatomically moving around, everything around you is vibrating. Truth is only where you're at consciously. Once you let go of programs being dictated to you, things being narrated to you, and you see a bigger, broader picture, oh shit, God is in all things. Oh yeah, the Satanist told me that through powder. Let go of that paradigm. God is Satan. Okay, cool. Satan's God. Cool. It's all one thing. Oh, cool. Sure. Now, is there really evil in the world? Or is it just a teaching lesson experience? Dolores Cannon says it, has always said it. That's the difficult aspect. You have to apply all things to that concept. You can't just say, oh, well, it's my people, preferred people coming with me. When we ascend, it's going to be in different categories, in different parallel universes. And everybody's still attached and cling to, well, I can't leave my kids and I can't leave my husband and I can't leave these people. Do you understand how multifaceted you are? How there's a billion versions of you playing out different things right now? Right now. I have different versions of me playing out opposite things that I do. There's another version of me out there that has a family and married and has everything secured. I chose to consciously play in this vehicle the struggle. The struggle is real. Not having kids, not having a family. All for experience. The spiritual community is very confused because they're projecting potentialities onto people that may or may not exist. May or may not exist. Are you ready to handle that? They're perceiving their reality at the level of where their perception is. A lot of mediums and channels have honed themselves back into giving predictions, knowing that to all time is concurrently happening right now in different dimensional and multi-dimensional spaces. As we talked earlier with Amy having Bigfoot in fourth dimension, but being able to come into third, that's a potentiality. And then we're merging with it all. Are you taking these things as learning teachings, or are you taking it personally and not doing the work to propel yourself forward? A lot of people still cannot look in the mirror and say, I love you, and feel it, and emote it, want it for themselves. A lot of people are looking in the mirror and not seeing the love and light that they are. They're sitting in self-criticism. They're sitting in hatred. They're being reflected back what they give out to others. When more and more people sit in the frequency of love, pure unconditional love for self, you'll start seeing your paradigm shifting. The narratives that are being played out, the want, the need to have the knowledge of all things, you're going to stop needing to want all of that because it's already within you. The truth is within you already. You wrote this. You just have to recall it. We wrote all of this. That's not fun to know. We wrote this. We wrote the coding for it. You don't have to believe me. I'm not asking you to. But I let go of who did what, who's the blame, because there's still Source playing out an experience for us to know more about what we want and what we don't want. It also is a gateway of choice right now. This is where we're at in society. This is where we're at. You get to choose. Your soul already chose, but in free will choice, you can choose to either go positive or negative. There is no wrong path, as per Ra, because all serves God. All of it. The negative serves God. Why? It's God having an experience to know itself more, and both polarities. There's no wrong. Because eventually, six-dimensional space, six density, all those negative people will polarize to light. And if they don't, they go back to Source and space dust return as per Ashriana Dean. But Ross says very similar things. So it's just an experience, because if they're actually going to go back to sixth density and turn to light, then why are we wasting our time with wanting people dead and shaming and blaming the side that woke you up? They woke you up to what we actually did to ourselves. What did we do to ourselves? You lost your empowerment for self. You threw your energy away to another person to have power over you. The same thing can happen in the light, by the way, because it is happening right now. Everybody is waiting and everybody's giving their power away to money. Oh, when Sarah hits. Oh, when Trump puts this in and that. You're throwing your power again away. You create your reality. And yes, we're bound by 3D shit. Totally get it. 47 is just a catalyst for change, but he is not working solely alone. He's working with we, the people. Now, no matter what side of the fence that you stand on, whether you are a Democrat and hate that orange man bad, or you are, I'll show you guys in a second. Look at that. Putting more color in it, don't worry. Yes. This is why it's not dismissing the blue button people being horrible and wrong, but we're being shown what we don't prefer. When we keep feeding the loop of what they've done, and it's not just them, it's a whole plethora of people that we have given our power over to, that alone, putting the blame and the shame on them when they're there to help us wake up, yeah, it's messed up stuff. We don't prefer it, but we keep looping them into the same manifestations. So they're going to keep perpetuating their shenanigans. Instead of what I've done is stop letting them rent space in my head. Stop thinking about, what about the children and what about this scenario? Because I have to give source credit where it's due. That is their experience for them to experience. Do I agree with it? Absolutely not when it comes to negative things. I don't agree with it. But source has a reasoning for all things. All things have a reason. All things have a service to experience. Do I want that experience for others? Absolutely not. But it's showing me what I don't prefer in my reality. And in order for me not to create it, I don't need to think about it. I am acknowledging it exists. I'm not saying it doesn't, but it doesn't rent space up in my head and no longer have an emotional attachment to it. That might sound like I'm a cold bitch. It does. But when you don't put emotional states to things, there's no will to intent to manifest it. When you really want something and you really hone in and focus on it, it starts manifesting. So there's a lot of people that are very fucking passionate and the evil, the money, we could do the dance. It's perpetuating and they're continuing their shenanigans. I don't care how many tunnels are busted. I don't care how many good guys are out there trying to do the right thing. We wrote this story. It's not renting space in my narrative, in my programming anymore. Because I know that God has it all. God has it all. God has the wisdom, and knowing of what he want or she, the androgyny of energy, is experiencing all things. And it's going to experience all potentialities. It's up to you to create the timeline to merge to get the fuck out of it. Why a lot of us are stuck, big one. Why we are stuck, even though we're trying to manifest the best and highest for our own selves, we are not manifesting it because we got to take everybody along with us for the ride. We can't do this alone anymore. The path to enlightenment is not meant to be done by yourself. You have to go through yourself, into yourself, to achieve those states. But we're not supposed to hold it up and keep it in quiet. And we're supposed to share our experiences with other people. We're supposed to vent. Well, I was abducted by aliens. Great. Tell me more. Let's explore it. Let's find more deeper whys. Like Amy messaged me about Bigfoot because she had an experience and we went through it. We dove a little bit into it. It could be anything. Ask the why questions objectively. Don't put your feelings in the mix. Once you do that, your emotions are going to cloud your judgment. We have to recall that our thoughts are creating things, and they do. Just like if we look at how predictive programming works, right? And let's take the Simpsons analogy. The Simpsons, like early 90s, projected a lot of shit onto our minds, unknowing to us. that it programs subconsciously in our minds, giving it consent to manifest. Look how long some of those things took to manifest, but it was predictive programming. It's predictive programming. So those things actually manifested years later, decades later. Just exact. Because enough of us unconsciously created it. Now that you have the ability to go, hell no, I watched something objectively. Alter Carbon. I haven't been to Vikings in a long time, so I haven't watched another episode. But you could take any show that's projecting what future timelines could be. I'm just a viewer objectively looking at a show that's showing me an Elon Musk-esque paradigm. I don't prefer it. I prefer some of the spiritual essence and meanings that the show gives you. It actually opens and expands your mind. But at the root of it, I don't let it consume me emotionally to be actually manifested. That's not the paradigm I'm choosing. I'm choosing the Christ consciousness paradigm, where all of us who are in the Christ conscious awareness of expanded mind are going to go and have this beautiful, wonderful experience on New Earth. That's it. That's what my soul chose. We got to create it together. It's already there. It's merging with it. But we also have to add what we want to this new world. If we keep perpetuating what is occurring on this one, we can't really make a fair, fresh start on this one. Because we're still allowing and all the negativity that's balled up on this side of 3D negative polarized Earth, that it is negative. We're trying to transmute the negative into positive. If we keep fighting on, well, there's pedos and this is happening, well, that's giving your power away. They're a part of God. Ask yourself why. Why would God want to have those people? Well, it's Satan. Satan's of God. So let that paradigm, let that story go. Ask yourself, why do they exist? What is the purpose for them being here? What happened to them that we need to really look at the cookie and go, okay, how did it crumble? Who ate it? Christ consciousness is the governed office of 6th, 7th density, probably maybe a little higher. Christs have been Buddha, Yeshua, Yogananda. There's a couple of others that held that office. It's not just Christ Christianity. It's he was the last one in our awareness, besides Buddha, Yogananda. A lot of them were Indian, by the way. Ascended masters, rishis, were they have a lot right. But he came down to preach the law of one. Everything got distorted. And this was after Atlantis, the distortion of Atlantis. A lot of people survived and a lot of the negatives survived, and it shifted our paradigm negative. It was neutral at some points, positive at some points, and became neutral, then negative. This is just from what upstairs. Christ consciousness is the awareness that all is source, source is you, you are source. Everybody on the outside of you. So Amy, I'm playing an aspect of you that you're not playing. You're my other self. Everybody in the chat is playing another aspect of me, and then me, then me. Differentiated. So God can know itself more and have experiences more. Christ consciousness is the awareness that all is one. that you are all things. That's what Yeshua was trying to teach. And his teachings got very distorted, very polarized, and inverted. Buddha, very similar stuff happened. There are people that are incarnate right now that are like myself and a lot of you who have Yeshua's bloodline in them. I know I do. We're here to seed expanded thinking. No one has it right. There is no right or wrong. You create your reality, but you have to understand that it's collectively made by all of us and that you're one with it all. By you creating your reality, you're creating the reality for everybody else. So like at the end of Dark City, because I talked about that when I lost my voice, at the end of the movie, a lot of people are like, oh shit, they're in a matrix. But he made a beach for all the people. He created it with his head. And thus said a beach, the beach that never existed, now it does exist. He created it, and for all the people that were still sleeping, they had no idea. But he was the one that created it. That's a beautiful ending. Even though they're in a matrix that was dominated by aliens. Like, he created a world for people to experience. And if we take that ending of that movie and apply it to what we want for the new earth, it's really doing the work within to clear it all out of you, to become neutral to an extent. You want to, I'm shifted light. This body, this consciousness is light. And I want to create that heaven, that beach that we can all go to. So my little creation and my thought in my head, if more people think along the same lines, that beach and that beautiful world that we want will be more at our grasp. That's right. God said we all came to exist. And if you think not, take the God name out of it. If you're a scientific mind, the subatomic particles on the negative and positive side were intermingling. And I'm bored. This is dark. I'm in the void. I need more. I need contrast. More subatomic particles, photons start coming into existence to light up the void of space. Oh, now we got quarks and muons and gluons. And now we have a whole plethora of a concatenate of fun. And then suddenly more atoms and more entanglements and more consciousness starts happening. And then it's too much. Energy is consciousness. Light equals energy equals consciousness. And you don't need to be spiritual. You could be on a religious mindset and still understand that God's all things. The idea is we're not here to change I don't want to be here, at least for myself, to change anybody's religious status. If you were raised a Christian and that's really where your heart lies, that's beautiful. Don't change that. You can still seek the same thing and get to the same results as me. You just have to take the book as an allegory or as symbolism. If you take it literal, you're going to get stuck in the literal, rational 3D confines. You could still obtain spiritual enlightenment through any religion. You could seek the path to the source of all things through any religion. A lot of them are inverted and they have been diluted, and a lot of messaging has been changed through different languages and interpretations of words. A lot of people have, Amy. I am very blessed that my grandmother, my birth grandmother, very Southern Baptist, go get yourself in that tub, wash your feet at my door. Do not come into my house unless your feet are washed. Born again Southern Baptist. A lot of my family is all about dunking themselves in a tub to atone for their sins. You're not sinning, you're experiencing life. You're going to fuck up, you're going to do wrong things. That's a part of how you learn. If you don't touch the stove as a kid to know that it's hot and take your hand away, how are you going to learn? Because someone told you or because you experienced it and now you know the pain? Ouch, not doing that again. And if you think about our evolutionary looping, each life that you have lived, well, consciously, and is already happening, you were the ape, you were the Neanderthal, you were the species of something, and somewhere along the line, you drowned, you burned, you were taken out, you very quick lives. And that next life, you don't know why, you have a fear of going in the water, or you have a fear of heights, or a fear of spiders, or whatever your fears may come up, like tangible fears, not irrational ones, like agoraphobia or arachnophobia, whatever there's a million phobias out there. That happened from past life, and you have a little bit of that memory within you. And that's a flight or fight response to, oh shit, no, we drowned that next life. Let's not go in that water. And the next life, you learn how to swim. So the fear kind of fades. Oh, I burned to death because I was a furry little freaking creature that went too close to the flames and, right? Very painful. You're carrying those memories inside of you. And now we don't need those third dimensional memories anymore. We need to make room for our higher density selves to merge in with us. This is why all this stuff is coming out of us. Chicken, 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 chicken. You don't need to see my pores on my face. Ah! There it goes. Yep. Yes. That's why we can't equate one religion as all-knowing or having be the chosen people. Each culture is derived of having its own interpretation of what we want to call the law of one. Where we gave our power away in other paradigms was when we allowed people to tinker with the original word, the spoken language, to change and flip meanings of things. Okay, we gave our power away to allow these people to do that. Council of Nicaea is the earliest one we can mostly look up and know that that happened, right? So we allowed people to dictate to us what the book should say. We allowed people to take and remove portions of beautiful work. But at the end of the day, we wrote all of that stuff for us to come to this now moment to realize that it doesn't need to be there anymore. I'm glad there's 77 books in the Bible we haven't seen yet. And some of us has seen portions of it. Is that a real thing? Was it meant to be in God's divine plan? My brain dissects everything. It never used to. And it's not fun having to dissect things that you love or you have a preference to, but I break things down for a bigger and better understanding. There's no one or right religion. There's no one right or wrong book. Everybody's going to get enlightened, lifted up by whatever they're reading, whatever resonates within their field of vision, within their field of knowing, within their field in their aura. So for some people, the Bible, that's their book because they feel it in themselves that it's real. It feels to them. It's not because the priest is dictating to them how to think. Because a real person that goes into their own temple, but goes to an outside source building in 3D, if they're sitting there and judging other people for what they're wearing and how they're presenting themselves, and we're all victim to doing this. We're human. This is how we label perceive our reality. We make judgments. We put criticisms on things, and we should. This gives us a permission slip to know what we want and what we don't want. I would like a world where there's more parents accepting that their kids are different and feed the difference than neglecting the difference and letting them sit to suffer. And the kid wrote that suffering. They need it for something, not my judgment to make. But at the end of the day, it's all learning and teaching. But of course, there are things I don't prefer over what I do prefer. That's where we need to now pick. We're picking the bridge to train out to whatever destination we want to go to. Is it the darkness or the light? My grandmother told me, so when I found my birth family, my birth mother took her life, and I'm her last remnant of her. You would think that when I found her family, that when my grandmother and I try to have a conversation, she goes, I'm going into church. I might have to call you later. I can't talk to you right now. How do you think that made me feel? So church is more important than knowing that your daughter had a child that's alive. And that's the last remnant of the child you are mainly the cause of for that child not being here anymore. Wouldn't you want to know your granddaughter and stay on the phone? And God's not going to punish you for not going to church. But if you think that way, think Satan's out to get you, you're in another reality loop I don't want to be a part of. I don't want to be a part of that. Thankfully, I chose parents who, yes, were Jewish, but didn't follow it. They did it for family functions just to have an excuse to see family. I wouldn't be here and be this way if my parents made me follow the faith. Why we can't generalize cultures and religions and ethnicities. Just saying, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my family, my adopted family, because they gave me and handed me down enough to sustain. I'm very thankful for them. They're here, by the way. I'm welling up. So the hatred that people are pushing out into the universe for this one particular group of people, you can't generalize. I'm not saying that they're not in a bigger sense, in a populist sense, that a lot of them have the negative service to self. They do. They're going to go explore that paradigm for themselves over there. But I'm not letting them rent space in my head to obsess. I'm moving forward. I am not having them have power over me. Do you see how that works? I am taking my power back to stand in my own authority to make the world that I want, not allow them to keep continuing to manifest a world that I have no choice but to live in. I'm manifesting a freaking beautiful paradigm that I hope all of you are on, if you want to be there with me. And I'm sure all of you want very similar things to myself, and seeing beautiful things in nature, having flourishing in abundance in all ways, in all things. There's no, there's arguments and discrepancies and things, but people come maturely to come together in unity and go, oh, okay, we can work together. Cool. Let's figure this out. Instead, it's like, these people are horrible and these people are horrible. Blah, 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 blah. Impasse. What does that do? I mean, the people that are in my, in my environment, oh my God, 47. My whole life is ruined. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then everybody on this side was like, Biden. Blah, blah. It's an impasse. What is that doing? It's taking your focus off doing what we need to do and get there. It's like there is so beautiful and abundant, but yet we're still in this lobster claw of hell of everybody's like, ah, 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 chicken, 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 chicken. Everywhere is chicken. Chicken. It doesn't want to move. Chicken. There it goes. I I love the beach. I love the beach. That's one thing I do miss. But I don't need hurricanes and destruction and other things on the beach that are not healthy for your body. Um I like to be animated. I am funny. As serious as I can get, I like to be funny. Um there's an impasse. And it's not to disrespect anybody from either side, but that's what it sounds like. Everybody's arguing over here and everybody's arguing over here, and it's about very similar things. It's just different perceptions. When you know and you look up here as a bird flying, here's my birdie. He's looking at both sides. He's like, where's my next dinner? Chicken dinner. But the bird is looking down at the situation and going, okay, so what's the point? What's the point? We just, for many of us on one side, we had 4 years of things we don't prefer. Now they're experiencing the same thing over here where they're experiencing another 4 years of things that they don't prefer. But at some point, there has to be a merging of what can we all agree on and move forward. We can't do that if truth has not come out yet because people are still plugged into needing the news or other people to dictate their reality for them. Where did my notes go from yesterday? Okay, that's a good quote. Sorry, going through my law of OneNotes. I don't rem I did a TikTok on it, but it's very good to mention it again. Now this is the first failing. Nope. Mother effer. Where'd it go? Ah, found it. Sorry, I got a lot of stuff on the floor. Hurrah. And again, if your paradigm matches up with his, quote, to those who wish to sleep, we could only offer those comforts designed for the sleeping. Service is only possible to the extent it is requested. We were ready to serve in whatever way we could. This still seems satisfactory as a means of dealing with other selves in third density. It is our feeling that to be each entity which one attempts to serve is to simplify the grasp of what service is necessary or possible, end quote. Not everybody's meant to be awake. And that's for our experience and our learning and how to have compassion. Fourth density. Quote, the necessity for graduation of fourth density is an ability to use, welcome, and enjoy a certain intensity of white light of the one infinite creator. End quote. Unconditional love, compassion is the two hallmarks of fourth density. And that's not just for yourself. That's for all the smackdown. So instead, here's how you're going to mature yourself in time. Because not everybody's ready to get rid of the story. The story is the Illuminati, good and evil, spiritual war, this stuff, okay? It's a narrative and it's a program. Here's how you're going to mature yourself. Instead of saying, I hate, mature it to, I dislike. I dislike. It's not as it has less impact. Hate is like, right? You have passion in that hate. Passion. You're feeling it to hate it. When you dislike something, you're just maturing that level of, well, I'm not going to throw so much energy into that because it doesn't serve me. Dislike. Stair stepping up from dislike is I don't prefer. I don't prefer. See how that works? I don't prefer. So I'm going to add more color here, but I'm going to start over here. Because I see the time. Oh my gosh. I'm bad at crafting. Well, keeping my time in crafting. Oh, that looks like a green rose. Hi, Scott. I hope your neighbor is okay. You know, I know in my own heart, my perception of reality is not an easy one to grasp. I I know that many people can't handle that yet in their paradigm because they're still in the dualistic thinking of these people did something to me. These people have controlled the world and they're so evil, and money and greed and money and greed. But at what point do you stop allowing yourself to give your power away to get it back? By stop making those claims in the first place. By stop giving them your energy and your thought space, because remember, your thoughts create things. So if you're saying that these people have power over us and they're evil, and that's for whatever you think in your mind is evil or is evildoers or the bad people, if they rent space in your mind, you're not expanding. You're perpetuating their loop. So for everybody who hates 47, stop thinking about him and things in your life will get a lot better because you're not renting space in your head with that number. Same thing for the people that have to, well, that side's evil. Those people are lunatics. Those people are this and that, and they're unhinged and da 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 da. Okay, that's your perception. Is it not God playing a role? Number 5. I know Buckshot's on board with me. We're gonna create this paradise. I know Ashma is on, I know all of you are on board. I know Buckshot's been talking about it. It's like as great as like it is a, you know, we're human. We like to enjoy things. And sometimes we're watching the world spill out on, but I am not taking any of that stuff within me. I'm watching it, it's out there, it's a movie. I'm not allowing it to have a predictive program either. Because that's a lot of that is what's happening right now. Yes. And I can't, you see, and here's the bigger part of the bigger expanded thinking here. I can't do this by myself. I know my perception of the world is not a popular one, and it's not an easy thing to grasp. Right? There's levels to getting to my ways of thinking, and it doesn't need to be yours. Whatever potential you want is what you're going to create anyway. I don't dictate that, you do. But the less you allow things to rent space in your head, and the positive, beautiful things that we want for humanity are now taking rented space up here, the higher capability and probability it's going to occur. It's not to say that the people over here that is still in this wavelength of thinking good and evil, bad and good, and that they don't hold this, they don't have a space. They do. It is necessary. Chicken. This stupid camera. I can't wait to afford one that works. But my garden has to include all of you. Right? I can't, I'm not here for myself. I volunteered to help. Here's 3D and here's 4D, and I'm in here. I'm the bridge. I'm the physical bridge trying to help people come across and get here. I'm already up here. I'm here. All of you are in the same boat. I'm not alone. I am not some person to put on a podium. Nope. Nope. All of you are angels. Most of you can recall an ascended master path. Most of us had one. We need to take that, yep, all aboard on the positive polarized train to infinity and beyond. We got to create what that infinity looks like. We're being shown what we don't prefer, but don't let it rent the space in your mind, because it's not going to create there on the top of this bridge, we need to really put our face forward. Take it as the Oregon Trail. We all played the Oregon Trail. I hope everybody played the Oregon Trail, right? You went from the East Coast, you got off the boat. Our forefathers went from England to America, did not know what they were, kind of knew, but didn't really know what to expect. But in their heart space, they were like, yes, we got a whole clean slate. We're going to fucking create what we want. Not what they want, what we want. Okay, so they get here. They land in Plymouth Rock and other places. I mean, the Vikings really discovered, well, not discovered, but like landed on America a long time before any of that. But anywho, they saw the adversity and they had to go through a whole bunch of fucking bullshit. But the promise in their hearts were we're going to create a new society, a new something, a new reality. They had adversity. They had the Native Americans. They had the elements of storms and cold and hot and different climates and different elements and different things that they didn't experience over there. But they came over here and they're like, we got to get a new fucking thing going over here. If we're going to dwell on the fucking past, we're not going to propel ourselves forward. But we learned what we don't prefer. So they're not carrying it over here. Unfortunately, we got some infiltrators and things, but the premise of that idea, that feeling within us, that we are the forefathers of the beginning of a new America, of a new earth. Okay, we're the ones embarking on this big voyage. And if we keep thinking about what the king and the queen are doing, instead of going, okay, we need to write a new ordinance. We need to discover land. We need to make sure our crops are going. We need to make a new system of how we're going to have water and plumbing and this, that, and the other thing. They were not thinking about Mr. Sir Queen or asshole over there. It wasn't renting space in their head. They already experienced it. They don't need it rented in their head. They were thinking forward on how to create a better society. We got to do the same thing. We got to be the pioneers going into an unknown land, and that is an unknown paradigm. It's unknown to us. We don't know what it actually will feel and know and look like. We don't know what it's going to look like because we created it, but we don't know which version that we're jumping into. It's an unknown. We're taking the tarot card, that the leap of faith, the fool. We're taking a fool's journey, not in a bad way, in a good way. If we were to sit and think about all the wrongs and continue on that boat ride over to the new earth, and we're gonna just keep perpetuating and letting them take power away from us for our own selves, and they're renting space in your head, so you're not manifesting what you really want. We're like George Washington, Thomas Jefferson. We are the leaders that are birthing in a new society, a new earth, a new America, a new whatever it is to you that you want to create. They learned from their past, but they didn't let it hinder them in their developing the new society, the new ways of government, the ways things should have run and got corrupted. But we are learning. But now is the time to be on that boat, getting away from Britain and going over to America, wherever, New Earth, whatever paradigm you want to explore. There's no wrong or right. We got to figure it out. So we're starting to see the old guard go. We're starting to see new change happening, and that's a little scary because we don't know what it looks like just yet. We have to have faith. And Source is giving us an experience. We might not prefer it, but at least we know what we want, what we prefer over what we don't. And if we don't have that contrast to have that experience, your soul really won't know what to choose. Your soul will choose positive or negative. But in those positives and negatives are a whole scale of other hues of color. And in those hues of color is other programs that you can jump on. So some people in the light will go on Elon Musk's cyborg ventures and be controlled by the Borg or the hive and become a hive mind. Still of the light, but it's going to be hive mind. I don't want to be a part of that society. Okay, I don't prefer that. What's the next one? We've heard a lot of potentialities from people that have remote viewed or have looked into the Akashic records. Once again, the Akashic records are forever changing because you change what timeline you jump on, and they can't predict that. There's a percentage of things that will unfold based on your vibratory state right now. Ashmaya, absolutely. Absolutely. I have faith. I have faith. I care heavily for everybody. It breaks my heart to see how many people are so negative for something that they shouldn't even care about. They are obsessive over certain things that if it doesn't affect you, yeah, certain things affect everybody at different levels, like the economy. It sucks. But the transition is here, and everybody has to, we've never done this in modern times. It's going to look a little scary, but are you going to feed the fear or go along with the flow and say, okay, let's stop thinking negatively. Let's think potentially what better things can happen. I tell my teachers all the time, you might not be in agreement with what's happening in federal funding. Oh, I'm going to lose my job. Stop thinking that, because you're going to create it for yourself. Think, okay, these are not bad people, by the way. I honor, and they're like mentors to me. They're amazing people. I really value the majority of the people I work with. I think they're amazing, very educated and very smart and very empathetic. What do you want in change? Because obviously nothing is perfect. If you can have the ideal educational experience that you would like to give your kids, what would it be? Instead of having demands placed on you, this is the curriculum you're teaching. You don't have a say in what you want. You get no materials for the room that you really need, but we don't have funding for you. If you had an unlimited budget within reason, what would you be providing for your kids? What curriculums, plural, would you implement in your room? How would you engage your children differently? If you didn't have to worry about materials and paper and things to help the kids grow. Now, how do we put that into making that actually occur so that schools become more of a diverse area of, okay, so this school wants to go with the spiritual approach. Great. That school wants to do trades. We still need houses being built. We still need plumbers. We still need nurses and doctors. Okay, that stuff is going to fall away in certain areas of indoctrinating. But there's still a big transition that's going to play out for a decade or two. And we can't do this. We can't have the same mistake that happened to my generation. I'm an 80s baby, very heavily affected by the economy. A whole chunk of my age bracket can't afford to feed themselves. Got college degrees as a norm, and we're getting away from those norms. slowly. But we need to write what we want. And if I were to ask each and every one of you, no matter what field of study, no matter what you do at home, if you had no money was no object, and you are asked to be on a committee to sit down with a bunch of people and say, well, what will work? What has worked with your job? What are the things that will accelerate the process? Be innovative. What can you bring new to the table? What are the things that haven't been explored? Because maybe they might work better. Let's try different things for each and every one of the millions of jobs out there and different kinds of entities of work. How could we do different to get different? This is our moment in time to do that. If I asked my principal tomorrow if money wasn't an object and there was no state breathing down your neck about curriculum and standards and all this paperwork and all this batshit crazy shit, how would you run your school? What would you implement? What would you take away? What would you try? And for many of those people, it's going to be very hard because they're stuck in their patterns of thinking. And this has to be this way because this is what this is what I was taught. Instead of going, well, this is my experience and this is what I've seen, this is what I've been through, and this doesn't work. At least here, it doesn't work. Let's change. What else can we implement? And this is across the board. I'm just using education as my wheelhouse of understanding. This is where I've worked the most. The art world, right? I could take it there too. There's so many creatives out there that never get accepted into a gallery, at least for even a show, because they're not aligned with the right people. Why does that need to be so? Why does a little fucking dot on a canvas placed at the Metropolitan Museum of Art worth billions of dollars because someone made a cacophony of a story up and was like, well, the composition of the void of space is up the. Dude, you put a fucking splash of paint on a goddamn canvas. I can make a story up. This is not I love this. I don't like the girl, right? But someone else might like the girl. I'm very critical of my own work. But why wouldn't this be hanging in everybody paints? Why isn't your work up in a gallery? You didn't pay them off enough? Why is this not considered art? And why isn't this allowed on certain platforms? Why? Now I want to make a change. How do I do that? Well, those who were in a service to others in the arena of politics and changing the game, I will be writing them some nice letters. Hi. There's no reason for anybody not to be able to be shown or sell their artwork. It shouldn't be a hearsay, I know this. And even like my degree, I technically bought the damn thing. Like going to college, most of the time you already have to have a skill or be talented in something like art. You have to already have the talent to get into school. Shouldn't be that way. A real school is going to sit there and teach you the skills you need in order to become an artist. Even if you just do squiggles. There's a woman that made a book out of squiggles. Very successful. We got to take the ideas and innovate them and then mature them and bring it into form. Many of us are starting that process now. We're seeing what we don't prefer. Okay, what do we prefer? And we're focusing on, okay, so this isn't working. I don't prefer this. What can I put here instead to propel this forward? And manifest it. Takes time. But it's vital. I'm gonna get off soon. I'm gonna put some yellow. I know I talk too much. Didn't get it. Well, I did. I'll show you guys who's here. Might have came late. Reach down. So from the last few craft and sips back, this is finally finished. There's flowers in there. And then love. So inside is oil painting, on top is oil painting, and then I put a lot of floral, and is epoxy. So I did do some crafting. And then the heart that I'm doing is almost done. I need just one more layer of epoxy, and then I can demold that and show you guys next time. And then this is a skull of just flowers. Flowers are not the easiest to lay in epoxy. It doesn't dry the right way sometimes. Like this is kind of not clear. It's like fuzzy. I don't know if it's my mold or the epoxy. But I mean, the back is clear. You can see everything clearly in the back. Thank you, Ashmaya. I'm gonna, I've been looking around at where to find really nice feathers. I would like them to be real, but any long feathers, not short ones, because I will make a feather vase for this with different colors, more colors that match this. And I was thinking along the lines the same with this, because these are feathers. But I have to find resources for that. So on the Friday live, now that I got my voice back, I'm doing Raphael. This is one of the paintings. If you go to my community tab, you'll see all the 4 paintings that will be up for raffle. And the winner of the raffle will get to choose which painting they want for their winning piece. And second and third place, because I don't like to just do one. I'll figure out what I will be raffling off for that if you guys want paintings or something else. I'll figure it out. Stuff like this I won't raffle off until after my crafting event in March, because these I charge this 25 for the small ones. The bigger ones are 35, like the big box ones. I have to find an 8x8 table. That's on my list because it's at a school. It's in the middle school, so I have to provide my own table. I don't have an 8x8 table, so I have to figure that out. Trying to think what else. I'm trying to catch up on my readings. So like today's Tuesday. By Thursday, I'm gonna have a YouTube clips, TikTok clips of all the TikToks that I do. I know a lot of people are on it, but not a lot of people are. So I like to bring them over and put in a little collection. Unfortunately, I can't do the meme ones, the pictures with the words, because I have music to them. And YouTube doesn't allow that. So I can't put those on there. Sorry. Woo! That caught me off guard. Oh. Okay. You know those little tuning forks that are really, 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 really loud? It sounded like someone just did that to this ear. I'm like vibrating. Woo! We'll see what I get from that. So yeah, I'm gonna do a TikTok clips for Thursday. I also know that, I don't like to mesh. I changed my craft to Tuesday so everybody can watch the Time Is Now podcast. I love Corey, Doc, and Amy very much, and I respect them, and I don't want to, unfortunately, I never know when Jack goes live, and I don't like to be disrespectful to him either. That's why I do Tuesdays and Fridays. I know a lot of other people who go live on Friday. I can't go based off it. I go based off of the people I love. So Friday I'm gonna have that raffle. Everybody who's a channel member gets a free entry. Those of you who are interested that are not channel members that can't afford it, it's $5 for an entry. And everybody's gonna get a number. So I have a number generator that I've been using, and everybody gets an assigned number. Like I put your names on a sheet and then I get a random number generator. And that's how I plan who gets what. And then I have this big wheel of fun that I spin. And then whatever number it lands on, that's who wins. So it's all fair. Hi, Steven. So if you're interested, all the information's on my community tab with the 4 paintings. It's okay if you're not interested. And sometimes a lot of the winners don't want the present. They'll just give it to somebody else, and that's fine. Just think about that too. So I am off on Valentine's Day and President's Day. Not getting paid. Fun. So I will be doing a lot of good stuff for that long weekend. knock on the table if nothing hits me again. Thank you to everybody that joined me for that Lost Voice live. Thank you. I got my voice semi back at the end when I was doing the cards, so I'm glad that it did come back. I am not going to allow certain things that are just limitations to override my schedule. If I'm feeling great, I'm not having a fever, I'm not sweating, and I'm just in, I just lost. I'm going to come on. I'm not going to let it dampen my day. Right? And I hope that inspired people to persevere through their limitations. We all have them. And I hope that I hope to inspire some of you who feel like you might have limitations. Just do you and do it authentically and be inspired and take inspiration where it comes and bounce forward with it. Pave the path of light forward. Light the path forward. That's the direction we're moving. Forward. We're not going back there. We're not visiting back there. We're saying bye, love you, bye-bye. And just let it go. As some of the kids think I'm Elsa. Let it go. Because it's no longer serving us. Once again, did I craft a little? I did finish crafts. I made some dots. If I can find cheap packaged paint pens, like I want to do dotalism, like mandalas. That's the goal here in dots. I'm glad, Ashmeyer, because you sent me some awesome stuff. Like your work is amazing. Like that's what I like. I mean, I'm not proud of some of the things that I do. I have such an itch right here. Oh, that's an itchy. I want to inspire people to do what you love and what your passion is. This happens to be my passion, and I want to bring it to everybody. I don't expect you to like everything that I do. I don't expect everybody to align with everything I say. I know you're not. You don't perceive reality the way I do. That's a beautiful thing. Don't worry. There is no right or wrong. And I'm going to keep saying this until it really instills within you. Because you're going to look at everybody else and feel the same way. Well, you know what? They don't perceive reality like I do. That's okay. They're not having the same opinion as me. That's okay. See how that works? When you take accountability for you, you're going to shine your light. Absolutely. Absolutely. But we can't look back any further any longer because we're like, okay, this is spirit with the analogy of us being the forefathers, but we're the ones creating the new reality. Like we have to look back at the past and go, okay, this is how they did it. Well, how did they do it? They left tyranny. They left it. They said, F you. I'm getting on my boat and I'm going over here. Well, this is us. We're going on our boat and we're going over there. If we keep thinking about the king and the queen and what's going on in England and this and that and the other thing, is this society really going to be created? We're the ones creating the structure for the kids. If we're worried about the kids, we're not doing a good job being good model citizens of creating a better world for them. but we really now are creating a actual new world that will be way different from what we experienced. The same things with Thomas Jefferson. He did not like what he did not want in his life. He said, F you, I'm going on my boat and I'm going over here. And I'm going to create the world and the reality that I want to experience. And he experienced it, he made it, and then he left it to the rest of us to carry forward. We are doing the same thing. We're all thinking we're the ones that are going to experience it. Oh, we will in different ways, but in different forms. We're leaving it to the children, which will pick up the torch and spark it even further. We can't get here if we're not focused on here. We're Thomas Jefferson on the boat, seeking a new world. If that's an analogy that's going to help you figure out what I've been saying half the entire couple of months, let that be a permission slip for you to be Thomas Jefferson, or to be any one of the forefathers that took that voyage to a new world with unknowns, the full leap into the unknown. And there was lots of challenges, and we're in that right now. In order for us to move forward, we have to think forward. And yes, we have to leave that night light on for the rest of the people to follow in our footsteps. But we are the ones. All of you guys in the chat, everybody who watches me, all the people that watches Brian Scott, and all the people, all the people that have an enlightenment wavelength scale up here, you're the ones forging forward. Forward thinking, doing different, doing what you prefer in your highest excitement, and we're going to create a new reality. That's what Thomas Jefferson did for America. We just got to, we're thinking too fanciful and too magical. We got to be practical and realistic. We're still in 3D. We're still in these cute little bodies. So we got to kind of like keep the imagination and the amazement up here. Ooh, I want to be amongst the fairies and the unicorns. I really do. But is that realistic for what? No. We'll get there. But what are the steps that we need to take to practically get to here? Thomas Jefferson had to accrue some money. He had to accrue. He had to get the like-minded people and the philosophers and the people that have literacy. And he said, all right, we all got to band together. We have to come together. And we're going to go on a boat. But hopefully we get there. And hopefully we live and survive the elements and learning what's there in order to create it. Absolutely. And that's okay. Absolutely. You wouldn't be you. And if you didn't, like I say, there is no right or wrong. You're going to perceive your reality and experience it different from mine. I don't expect anybody to jump in my body and have the same experience or feel the same way, right? That's everybody. And that's beautiful. What I'm trying to propose to most people is our unity consciousness is including our other selves that is experiencing the negative side. This body is experiencing the light. My other self is experiencing the dark. When you see everything as source, and acknowledging that understanding. It's not to say perceive it my way, but I hope that you could take it into your heart space and at least understand where I'm coming from. I'm not expecting you to agree with it or prefer it. And that's for anybody out there. We're all perceiving reality, and its unfoldment in your paradigm is going to be different from mine. My subatomic particles coming from my field of magnetism and electromagnetism are going to be different unfoldments because it's how I perceive my reality, is how the quantum states of subatomic particles are moving. I could take it scientifically. Right. And I understand where you're coming and Spark, listen, I understand where you're coming from because I was in that spot at one point. There's no right or wrong. And I love everybody with a lot of compassion and love, regardless of your thoughts or that you think different from everybody thinks differently. There's just so many people stuck that I hope to reach, or I hope eventually someone out there like Brian Scott and Daniel Scranton, and there's so many other people out there that are channeling and getting the same information, that at least one of those other people sticks with you to say, we could do better. This has not been working. I'm still waiting on the perpetual time clock in linear time space for things to start unfolding. Yeah, things are happening. You're supposed to. We wrote it. But when's my deck going to be erased? Or do I have to make that reality and create it for myself, that I do the erasing myself? Maybe it might make it a little easier for me to erase it in time. But I don't expect somebody to drop a whole like $1 million into my account. That's not going to happen. And if it does, that's freaking fantastic. And yay, go me, go, and go humanity, go. But I don't see it that way. It's a test, in my estimation and opinion, my perception. It's a test. It's from source. Are you actually manifesting the reality you want right now in this now moment, or are you waiting on something outside of yourself that you're giving your power over to create it for you? When you learn how energy flows in your life, then you can start empowering yourself to take your power back. And that's not an egotistical standpoint. Absolutely, Sparky. Thank you. Absolutely. That's why I love you. I love everybody, but I love you because we all need to. My vibration might not be for everybody. I am not everybody's cup of coffee. There's so many other people out there. And if we don't get our words out and we don't express ourselves, you're not contributing to the ether of amazement. Brian Scott says this beautifully, and it's through Daniel Scranton. Write the book, paint the painting, make the music. Even if it doesn't sell, even if it never gets published, the thought stream that you had to create it is now in the ether and is helping elevate humanity, whether you're aware of it or not. You never know. Van Gogh and then so many other artists never even got a freaking sell on their paintings, made thousands of paintings, and only becomes famous way after the fact. Someone actually saw value in their work. Same thing in the now moment. It's the same concept. If you don't write that book, if you're a writer, if you don't make that poetry, if you don't make that music, even if it's for fun, it's helping humanity because it's giving other people a permission to create, to be creative. Guess what? That negative side of God does not have that creativity. The more creative we can get, the more imaginative we can get, the more innovative we can get, the better the world will be. And that's how we alchemize and transmute this reality into from a negative polarized planet to a positive. And we going to need the inference. We're going to need the conflict. We need difference of opinions from our other selves to unify. Because if everybody thought the same thing, we would already be there. When we all come together and work together, and my ideas might not be the best, but maybe someone adding on to my ideas or giving me inspiration for something bigger and better will help the vision through. But it wouldn't happen if I don't have another person there to have contrast with. We can't do this alone. This is everybody, all hands on deck effort. So please make the effort in working on yourself, being a beautiful model for humanity, doing the inner work each and every day, catching yourself in those moments, just maturing instead of saying, I fucking hate those people. I dislike them. And eventually that dislike becomes, I don't prefer them. Until you come to neutral. And you allow yourself to see the eagle and look down. Because if Jesus walked the desert and walked to India and walked to Egypt and walked to different lands and was not judgmental and did not preach his shit, he just did his shit. He showed everybody. And he was ignored. And he was ostracized. And he was not liked. I'll leave you guys with this. I might have read this before, but it's worth reading again. Because I feel like this sometimes. Well, most of the time. If Jesus were living today, mainstream media, local carpenter continues to spread disinformation deems harmful by religious experts. If I'm spreading Christ consciousness and saying we're all one and we're all one with our Father and Mother in heaven, why is that so radical? Yeshua said it. Why was it radical in his time? When you understand dimensions and dimensional spaces and density spaces and the multiverse, and you don't have to believe in any of those things, but just know at the common crux, you are atoms and subatomic atoms vibrating constantly. You wouldn't be alive otherwise. On an anatomical physical level, you wouldn't be alive. So make sure that you do some research, you go within, and love yourself first. Look in the mirror and say, I love you. And feel it. If you don't feel it, that's okay. Work on it. Give yourself every opportunity to love yourself, to see the prosperity that is ahead. If you focus on lack, that's what you're going to get. I show up for myself each and every day by waking up and saying, I'm going to have a great day. This is going to be an abundant day. I'm going to be prosperous. I'm going to spread love, light. I'm going to light the path forward in whatever way I'm meant to do it. I'm not going to sit there and go, oh, woe is me. I can't pay my bills. Fuck my life. I've said that a lot. I'm choosing not to say it anymore. I'm working my butt off each and every day. And hopefully that work gets paid off in whatever ways that source deems it to be fit. So once again, on Friday, I'm going to have a raffle. A lot of you are going to be on that raffle. So thank you guys for being channel members. It's a beautiful way to contribute to helping this channel keep up. Things are not free. Everybody got bills. I do too. Light the path forward. And guys, if you make stuff, if you're crafting, I mean, I didn't do much today, but if you do craft or you make something while I'm talking, please don't be shy. I am not Jerry Saltz from the Village Voice giving you a criticism. I'm more than happy to look at your work. I want to see it. I want to see how creative all of you are. I don't expect everybody, like, my degree doesn't mean anything. You know what I'm saying? It's just a skill and ability that I have, right? Like, I want to see your artwork. So if anybody is not shy, I know a couple of people have shown me some of the stuff they've done in the past, but if you're doing stuff as I'm going, or you do a paint and sip and you do it your own way, I want to see it. Don't be shy. I love you guys. I got a lot of energy. I don't know if anybody sees it, but there's a lot of energy I'm feeling right. Both sides. Sending each and every one of you love, light, compassion, grace, shielding and protective energy. Please go within. Be the physical shoulder for that other self that you might not like, but they're going to come to you eventually, going and asking questions. Be their shoulder. That's why you're here. We love everybody. Even the ones we think we don't like, they're going to come around eventually. Right? But they're those who, like Ross says, those who are meant to sleep, we're going to give them compassion and love and let them be. Be the shoulder. Be the fabulous, sparkling lighthouse that you can be, because you're the GPS signal waking everybody up unconsciously. So keep up the good work, guys. Seed your truths respectfully and maturely, because once again, we are the models for society, but also for the children. They're going to watch what we do. And the ones that are meant to take our path, they need guidance. They're way more advanced than us, but we're the ones teaching them how to advance. Be the role models in society. And I hope to see everybody Friday. I'm going to have a TikTok clips on Thursday, and that will be live chat. So I'll be in there, but it'll be a premiere. And I'm going to see if I can get more of the books read, because I'm behind. I hope Little Thor comes in the morning, but I have a video prepared. Thank you to everybody who has contributed, sent your love and light, gives my channel likes and shares. I really appreciate all of you. Thank you for helping me and being here and being a big part of my life. You guys are a family because I don't have. And it means so much in my heart space beyond words and definitions. So thank you all for helping me, keeping me alive. The gratitude is so immense. Please be safe, be seen. And I hope to see you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching. Send me your photos and have a blessed and beautiful night. Bye for now.